A lot of talk about the kicker for the Indianapolis Colts, Rodrigo Blankenship. So we talked to the kicker of the Colts, Rodrigo Blankenship, how he's doing and what this lifestyle is like as a kicker in the NFL.
You know, year after year, seems like some kicker or another gets closer to making 100% of all of their kicks, you know, and that's obviously the goal, and that's just where I want to get to. I want to be able to make all of my kicks. So until I get to that point, I'm not going to be satisfied.
You're kicking coach in Birmingham. Is that who you've worked with your whole career, basically?
Worked with him for a long time. Worked with him since probably 7th grade.
Okay. And, what's that relationship like?
It's good. I go down there every off season and go out and train and, take film, review our film when practice is over, and then come out again and do it again the next day.
What's his name?
Mike McCabe with one-on-one kicking.
When you hear people talk about the leg strength, is that a valid criticism, or is that something you've worked on?
I don't think
the distance.
Personally, I don't feel it's a valid criticism, but I understand why people criticize. They see that I missed a 50-yarder short against Green Bay. They see that I missed another 56-yarder short against Jacksonville. So I know all the kicks that they want to use to hold against me and criticize me for not having adequate leg strength. But people want to forget that I feel like I did just fine in college, and there hasn't been that much of a difference. The yardage is the same. I made I don't know how many 50-plus yard field goals in college. I set the Rose Bowl record for longest ever field goal in that game at 55. It's also a Georgia record for longest field goal made in a playoff or bowl game. So I personally don't believe it's an adequate criticism, but I understand that to this point I haven't proven that I'm capable of doing that. So that's something that I'm going to hope to be able to change going forward.
And the only way you change it is to get the opportunities and to make them.
Yes, sir.
Rob, what do you think your longest, your most comfortable distance in a game would be?
I mean, no wind, no rain, no anything like that. If all conditions are just
indoors at Lucas Oil,
I feel confident I can make a 60-yarder in Lucas Oil in any given opportunity that we need it. End of half, end of game, maybe even a little longer if the window's open and we're going away from it, get a little bit of tailwind. I feel confident and comfortable that I could do that. I just need to be able to prove that to the coaches day in and day out that I'm capable of doing that.
How tough a lifestyle is this, where you got to prove yourself day in and day out, or you lose your gig? How hard is that?
Well, it's just kind of what you sign up for, and it's just kind of the mindset that I've had to be in since I got to University of Georgia, where I had to compete for the job in 2016. I ended up losing the job initially, and then ended up taking over partway through the season. Was in competition again when we signed a graduate transfer going into the 2017 season. So I'm no stranger to competition and the fact that you have to bring your A game every single day, and that's how it is at almost every position. If a guy's not performing to his capabilities, then there's going to be someone knocking at the door ready to have an opportunity.
Rod, you play golf?
When were you good last season?
Not really.
When were you good after that injury last season?
I'd say probably about 5 to 6 weeks after the injury.
What was that like then, when you just didn't have a job?
Well, I was still living the dream. I was still here. I was still a part of the Colts organization, coming to work every single day, and
fully 100% healthy.
And yeah, and even though I wasn't playing, I was still here. I'm still a part of this organization. I still get to come in and work with some really incredible teammates and coaches every single day. So, it kind of stunk a little bit to not be on the field, but I just had to trust in the process, trust in my preparation, and just do whatever I could to be ready whenever the next opportunity presented itself.
That's Rodrigo Blankenship. Look, kicking in the NFL, it's a good living, but it's a tough way to make a living. Have a heart. Give the guy a little bit of credit, and hopefully he makes the squad. Hopefully he's the kicker, and hopefully he makes every kick just like he wants to.